Hello students, welcome to our online teaching class of Balangir Public School. Today we will discuss economics of class 10th, second chapter, part 1. Sectors, the name of the chapter is Sectors of the Indian Economy. Sectors of the Indian Economy. Economy, you know, it is a country where production, distribution, consumption activities are going on. This is known as an economy. India is an economy also. India is a great economy. Sectors of the Indian economy. So first, under this chapter, we will come to know the sectors of economic activities. First, we will discuss sectors of economic activities. So here, economic activities, what do you mean by economic activities? In class 9th, you have already learned it. Economic activity, you know, whenever we perform some activities, whenever we perform some works and get some money, is known as economic activities. For example, there is a rickshaw puller. He is carrying his rickshaw from he carries the luggage from one place to another place once and gets 50 rupees. So his activity we will call it is an economic activity. So economic activities, whenever we perform some works and get some money, is known as economic activities. So economic activities are of three types. These economic activities are of three types. Primary sectors. These economic activities are classified into three sectors. These are primary sectors, secondary sectors, and tertiary sector. So all the economic activities are classified into three sectors. They are primary sectors, secondary sectors, and tertiary sectors. Primary sectors, you know, whatever the activities in class 9 you have learned it, agriculture, fishing, extracting minerals and other things, cultivate, all these are farming, all these are primary activities. Secondary activities, so these primary activities are also known as agricultural sector. Secondary sectors comes under, these are manufacturing sectors. When the products of the primary sectors are processed or manufactured and different goods are produced, these are known as manufacturing sectors. And tertiary sector, when this tertiary sector, another type of sector, it enhances for the development of primary and secondary sector, like banking, transportation, etc. Okay, so let us discuss one by one all these things. So primary sector, secondary sector, but do not. When we produce a good by exploiting, so let's say in this way, three types of sectors of economic activity are there: primary sectors, secondary sector, and tertiary sector. Here, primary sector, when we produce a good by exploiting natural resources. When we produce a good by exploiting natural resources, it is an activity of the primary sector. For example, we are cultivating paddy, we are cultivating wheat, we are cultivating cotton. All these come under the primary activity. Since most of the natural products we get are from agriculture, since most of the natural products we get from agriculture, dairy, fishing, forestry, this sector is also called agriculture and related sector. Okay, so as we since most of the natural products we get from agriculture, dairy, fishing, forestry, all these things. This sector, this primary sector is also called agriculture and related sector. Then the secondary sector covers all the activities in which natural products are changed into other forms. The secondary sector, when natural products are changed or turned or changed to other forms, like from wheat we will get wheat flour or biscuits. This is known as the manufacturing activities that we associate with industrial activity. When we change the form of the products of the primary sector, it can be possible only in manufacturing sector and industrial activity. It is these activities is associated with agriculture or industrial activity. It is the next, for example, from wheat we make biscuits. So from wheat, how it turned into biscuits, totally it involves, it is associated with the industrial activity. Okay, the product is produced, the product is not produced by nature. Wheat can be produced by nature, but biscuit cannot be produced by nature. It is produced by industry. It is produced by the manufacturer. Okay, so it is the next step after primary. The secondary sector is the next step after primary sector. The product is not produced by nature, but it has to be made, and therefore some process of manufacturing is essential. This could be in a factory, that means this manufacturing activities can be possible either in a factory or some at home also. For example, using cotton fiber from the plant, we spin yarn and weave cloth also. Using sugar cane, by using cotton we can prepare yarn, and from yarn we can weave cloth, and from cloth other dresses and other things also. Here also from sugar cane, for example, it is a raw material, it is an agricultural product, and from sugar cane we can prepare sugar. Okay, since this sector gradually became associated with the different kinds of industry, each sector, that means biscuit factories, oil factories, or textile mills, all the whatever the manufacturing industries are there, this sector gradually became associated with the different kinds of industry that came up, which is called as industrial sector, or manufacturing or industrial sector also. Next, the third one is that is the tertiary activities. Here, after primary and secondary sector, there is a third category of activities that falls under the tertiary sector, and it is different from the primary and secondary sector. These are activities that help in the development of the, these are the activities that help in the development of the primary and secondary sector. So many reasons are there. For example, goods that are produced in the primary and secondary sector would need to be transported from one place to from the producer's unit to the consumer's units. So it needs some transportation. It needs some transportation. For transportation, it needs some communication. So all these are transportation, communication, all these are the tertiary sector. Whatever the means of transportations are coming under transportations, and like for example, goods that are produced in the primary or secondary sector would need to be transported. That is from wholesale, from the company to the wholesaler, from the wholesaler to the retailers, and from the retailers at last comes to the consumers. Okay, so this needs numbers of persons, the help of numbers of people. These are called, and the persons are the persons who provide these facilities. They come under the tertiary sector, like communication. We also may need to talk to others over telephone, to send the different goods, or to receive the goods from others also. So in this sector, banking, transportation, trade, communication, all these are the examples of tertiary sector. So tertiary, since these activities generate services, this tertiary sector since this tertiary sector generates services, these are also called, this sector is also known as the service sector. It is also otherwise known as the service sector. So service sectors also include some essential services that may not directly help in the production of goods. From some service sectors are also there that may not directly help in the production of goods. For example, some persons like teachers are there. We require teachers, doctors, engineers, etc. So different who provide personal services such as also washermen, barbers, cobblers, lawyers, and people to do administrative and accounting services also based on the information technology such as internet cafe, ATM booths. All these are also coming under the service sector. We the teachers, we are teaching you, we are providing some service to you. As we are getting some money, our activities also known as economic activities, and our economic activities comes under the service sector. Okay, are you clear about the primary, secondary, and tertiary sector, which are the economic activity, which are divided into in these three parts? Here also, so from this point, we are clear that this primary, you think yourself first. So primary, secondary, and tertiary sector, these three sectors are interdependent on each other. Okay, these primary, secondary, and tertiary sector are interdependent on each other. Here you will read from the example table 2.1 and you will collect information how these primary, secondary, and tertiary sector are interdependent in each other. Next, comparing the three sectors. How can we compare the three sectors, the primary, secondary, and tertiary sectors? Comparing the three sectors. How can we compare the three sectors, that is the primary, secondary, and tertiary sectors? Okay, so how do we count the various goods and services? How do we count the various goods and services and know the total production in each sector? You must be feeling confused to some extent that how it will be possible to count and calculate all the goods and services of the country. The primary sector, tertiary sector, everything, but nothing else. To get around this problem, economy suggests that the values of goods and services, actually, it is easy. There is a separate department in the government of there is a separate department of the government, that is the statistical department. It is taking the risks to calculate all these things or the output from the production from the primary, secondary, and tertiary. For example, the central government is conducting it. The central government will collect information about the primary, secondary, and tertiary sector from all the state level governments. And all the state level governments, for example, and the state level governments will collect information from its all the districts. Again, the district collector or the district administrator will collect information from the block level, and the block level administrators will collect information from the root level, that is from the Gram Panchayat, and the Gram Panchayat administrators will collect information from the village. So in this way, the detailed information is being collected and sent to the upper administration, that is to the country, and in this way it is calculated. But one problem here, so which products are coming under the primary sector, how many items are there in the primary sectors, and what is its volume, and everything, which items are coming under the secondary sector and which things are coming under the tertiary sector, and all these sectors, they are converted into rupees to get around this problem. Economists suggest that the values of goods and services should be used rather than adding up to the actual numbers. Okay, so here remember there is one precaution one has to take. Not every goods that is produced and sold needs to be counted. मतलब only the final goods and services are being produced. Take for example, we can take the example of biscuit. So biscuit is prepared from wheat. From wheat, biscuit is prepared. So how biscuit is prepared? It also needs here wheat flour, thereafter sugar, oil, or other things. These are the intermediate goods in order to produce the finished goods, that is biscuits. So we will calculate only the finished goods and not the intermediate goods. This is the primary goods, this is the intermediate goods, and this is the finished goods. Okay. For example, from 1 kg of wheat, 4 packets of biscuits, 5 prepared. Okay, so all these 1 kg of flour, wheat, sugar, oil, electricity, labor charges, everything, it cost the manufacturer, for example, 30. So he will add his own profit 10, 30 plus 10 is equal to 40. So he will place the rate thereafter 60. Because he will place the rate of the biscuit 60 rupees, or 60 rupees, that is divided by 4, per packet of biscuits for 15 rupees. 50 rupees for. So in this way, he will sell to the factory will sell to the wholesaler, to some at the rate of 40. This way, 15 he will sell at the rate of 10. The wholesaler will bring it. Again, the wholesaler will sell to the retailer at rupees 12. And the retailer will sell us, then we are the consumers, at the exact rupees 14 or 15. Okay, so in this way transactions are going on, and all these manufacturing activities are going on. Okay, so here also the value of final goods and services. So all these things, the value of goods and services from all the 3 sectors are being calculated. Okay, the value of final goods and services produced in each sector during a particular year provides the total production of the sector for that year. And the sum of the value of final goods, how many goods are there under the final goods. This is for calculating the value of all the items of the primary goods we will collect. We will get the total amount of the primary sector. Like this, we will also collect the total amount of the secondary sector, and we will also collect the total amount of the tertiary sector also. And by adding up total amount of all the 3 sectors, then we will get the GDP. Then we will get the GDP. GDP stands for Gross Domestic Product. GDP stands for Gross Domestic Product. And from the GDP of a country, we can know the financial stamina, financial strength of a country. So in this way, GDP is calculated. So GDP is the value of final goods and services produced within a country during a particular year. GDP. So how big the country, from the GDP of the country, we can calculate how a country is big or small. Okay. So in India, this great task of measuring GDP is undertaken by central government. I have already told you, it is the duty of the central government to calculate the GDP of the country on the basis of its own. The central government will collect information from the all the state governments and union territory, and they also collect from their subordinating. State will collect information from the district, and again the district administrators will collect information from the block. Again, from the block administrator will collect information from the Gram Panchayats, and Gram Panchayat will collect information from the village level. In this way, by collecting the information, the central government can calculate the GDP of the country. Thank you. Next we will read in the next classes we will discuss historical change in sectors. How the historical change, this primary, secondary and tertiary sector, how time to time they are changing, how their volume of production, what is the amount of productions in which sector, how much contributing to the GDP, we will know in the next class. Thank you.